Hello there, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well today. It's taking a bit of an effort to get on here tonight. The child was not wanting to go to bed, but we finally got him down, so that's great. Comment when you come on live, say hello. Let me have a look, see if my sound is all set up nice and good. So I didn't get a chance to try it beforehand. But yeah, how's your day been today? Hope everyone's having a good day. It's the middle of the week. And how's it going? Hope it's going well. Just waiting for this page to come on, and so I can check that the sound is okay. But if you can hear me, let me know you can hear me as well. And if you're watching it on replay, comment replay so that I know you are catching up on it. Okay. Let's have a look. There we go. Finally ready to try it out. Yeah. Okay. So we have sound. Excellent. So I'll go ahead and get started. So what I wanted to talk about today, by the way, I'll introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. So my name is Trust Oluolu, and I am someone who is interested in all things money, specifically budgeting, and that's what this page is about. And I come on live on a Wednesday evening at 8:30 UK time and talk either on a subject or answering a question, just sharing my thoughts on it, and that's what this is for. So today I started to talk about why do budgets fail, and hi Lindsay, hello. So why do budgets fail, and just some ideas that I have on that, and share my suggestions, my tips to sort of counterbalance that. I don't have a drink today. That's how crazy it's been. So if I get dry throat, that's why. Okay, so I have put a few things down on paper. I'm going to try and talk naturally as well and sort of go from there. Now, first thing on my list I've got is like one that is, let's just get straight into it. We don't like to wait, do we? In our nature, we're wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. And having to wait for something and delay gratification, it's not something that we like to do. Even from when we're kids, it's just natural as part of human nature, and it's something that would work against us in the bid to budget and to plan and maybe hold off on things. So what I've got to say to that is, first of all, acknowledge it. Acknowledge what it is. This is how we are. It doesn't make you any less of a person. The fact that you don't like to wait, you like to go for things straight away. Once you've acknowledged it, next thing is, have a think about what you're saying no to every time you say yes. I'll give you an example. So let's say, for example, you are wanting to buy a house. And you know how much you've got to save for that. You know what the deposit is for that. You know when you'd like to save it by. But then every time you buy that extra pair of shoes or that extra handbag that you don't really need, or go out for that meal that you don't really need, as you're saying yes to that, if you think about it, as that's you at the same time saying no to that thing that you ultimately want. So it doesn't have to be a house for everybody. Let's say you want to travel the world and you're trying to save up for that as well. Every time you're saying yes to something that wasn't planned in the here and now, for something impulsive, you are saying no to that thing that you actually want. And if you think about it like that, that might be one way to just take back control of that primal instinct of seeking pleasure, avoiding pain. That might be one way to handle it. And if you listen, what I said was something that wasn't planned. So what I would add to that as well is, you can plan for these things. This is things that you feel like you want to do. I've got 4 people on. Hi guys, say hello. You can plan for those things, the shoes, the bags and all of that. You can plan in advance, and then what you can tell yourself, it's not a no forever. It is, you've planned for it. This is when it's going to happen. And then eventually, the more you do it, the easier it gets. and then we can try to take back control from that primal instinct that we have to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So that was the first thing that I think is fighting against us in terms of not being able to stick to budgets. The other thing I have on my notes as well is if your budget is so complicated, like you've got so many categories, so many different parts, and if that's not the type of person that you are, that's just going to put you off, straight away. Because when you look at it, when you think about it, that's already going to make you go, I can't deal with it. And there's a simple fix for that. You could simplify it. You don't need to, have let's say, for example, every different type of insurance listed out in a separate row. As I'm really boring, I'm thinking insurance, but something more fun. Or if you've got kids, every single activity that they do, every single, childcare facility, it doesn't have to be listed out. You can have it like in one category. That's just some examples I'm thinking of the top of my head. So you could really simplify it and make it less overwhelming to even start to look at and think about. And again, the more you do that, the easier it gets. It gets automatic, and it gets easier to do it that way. The other thing I have on my list, looking at my notes, is sometimes we can give up too soon. Like, we don't even give ourselves a chance to see what we can do. It's not that you failed, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that you've not given enough time to actually do it, to see what you can do. So, for example, who's seen the film Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, something along those lines, yeah? Anyone seen that film? And the whole thing about trying to form a habit or give someone a chance for 90 days. I mean, we've heard, in the past saying it takes 21 days to form a habit, and now we're learning that that's not enough. Like, you've got to give yourself time to actually try it. Something really funny that I heard about this, if you know a guy called Tony Robbins, who is a coach, and he would say, how long would you give your average baby to learn how to walk before you say, right, that's it, you've tried now, you can't do it, leave it? And anybody will say, absolutely not. They keep trying until they do it. Even if they fall, they keep trying to do it, because it's the mindset of, it's not something that you just going to walk away from. If you're connecting with the big picture of why you're actually doing it, you get it done, and you keep trying and actually give yourself a chance to prove that you can do it. So giving up too soon, it's something else that, sometimes it doesn't go well in our favor. Okay, the next thing I have on my list is, if it's going to sound odd, but going all in all at once, like they say, like going cold turkey. So if you're someone who's never done it before, it's your absolute first time, and you just trying to do everything all at once. Now that might work for some people. Some people are all or nothing. But if that's not you, again, that is like setting yourself up to fail. It's not a sprint. It's you got to do it at your own pace. So even if it takes you, one category for 1 month, you master that. Next month, take on something else, you master that. That is okay. Because actually, in life, it's anything that you're wanting to make a lifestyle change for, not a crash thing, something you want to adopt as part of your life. You've got to give yourself time to actually make that part of what you do. So if you're not the sort of person that thrives on all or nothing, and then you go head first, never done it before, all in straight at once, you might just crash out and burn and miss out on, what you could potentially do with that. So that's something else to think about as well. If that's not the type of person you are, take it easy. Do it at your own pace, one bit at a time, and then those sort of changes tend to stick even longer, ones that have taken time to really get in there. So, for example, 1 month you can take on maybe your food shop. The next month you take on your, clothes shop or makeup or phones, whatever it is. Like, you can take it bit by bit and get it done. Thanks for the likes. Okay, so that was that other point there. The other thing, which is probably a bit similar to that, is if you've not given yourself any leeway within the budget. I'll tell you what I mean. So you're trying to account for every single penny, every single pound. You drive yourself crazy, trying to get down to the final detail, unless that's the sort of person you are and you enjoy that. But you don't necessarily have to have every single pound, every single penny accounted for. You'll be spending so much time doing it. And the way I see a budget and the way I like to teach about it is it's not something that's meant to control your life. It is meant to be just a tool that you use to control where your money goes, not for it to control your life. And if you're trying to micromanage every single penny down to the bottom of it, you will wear yourself out and you're not going to stick to it. So give yourself a bit of leeway. Not every single penny has to be accounted for. I mean, in fact, I think it's important. I like to call it the fun budget. A part of your money that you don't decide where it's going to go. It's going to go for whatever you feel like it. And again, that might even help with the first point we talked about, which is that need to be impulsive and please ourselves. If you have that already planned for, then it just makes it all a little bit easier and you're more likely to stick to it. So doesn't have to get to the final details or every point, unless that's the sort of person you are. Give yourself a bit of leeway, give yourself more of a chance to actually make it work. So, and then the final thing that I think can make it difficult sometimes is, what is our association with money and budgeting from growing up? So if you are someone where growing up money has been like a difficult subject, your parents may or may not have handled it the way that you think it should be, and that just has caused some deep-seated anxiety about money, around just the very concept of budgeting. Maybe hearing the word even raises feelings of lack and being deprived for you. That is something that can make you sort of resist it. Now, I'm no counselor or therapist or expert in things like that, but if it is having that much of an impact on your life, it might be worth speaking to someone. If it is having such an impact on your life that it's affecting other areas that in a really significant way, it might be worth speaking to someone about that. If it is something a bit more minor, what I'll say to that is, you got to realize whatever happened with your parents, your caregivers, whoever has raised you up, that is not you. You are an adult now. You get to choose every single day. You are in control now. You are in charge now. You make it. You get to decide, how you want it to be. And however it was for them doesn't mean that that's how it's going to be for you. Every new day that starts is a chance for you to change that. And whatever it takes to sit with yourself and realize that whatever you're fearing for what happened in the past, in your childhood, that doesn't have to be you. And it doesn't call it something else. I mean, I've heard people that don't want to call it a budget, they call it like a spending plan, or if it takes calling it something else, because what it is at the end of the day is you deciding how you're going to spend your money to do the things that are going to bring you the greatest joy or happiness. Yes, there are the things that we need to do, like we need to pay for where we live and bills and things like that, but a huge part of that, of having a plan, is that it doesn't get thrown out the window. Like, you get to decide where it goes, and it doesn't have to be however it was when you were growing up. You're in control now, and you can make it whatever you want to be. So that's what I'll say for that one. And then just minor thing, little thing, if it helps to get a buddy as well, someone that you can talk to about it, bounce up ideas for. I mean, I have It's part of the service that I do. If it's, you know, something completely alien to you and you just either the friend or the coach, someone to hold your hand to get you started until you feel comfortable with it. I mean, that is part of what I offer, but you don't even have to get a coach for that. If it's a friend who is, you know, a bit more switched on about it, and you know, you have that conversation, you get them to hold you accountable, and you know, that might just be an extra thing to help with that. So those were the things I wanted to cover. If any of that resonated with you, if you have any more to share, add on to that list as well, feel free to do that in the comments, and let's share. Let's all get more comfortable with it, because you know, I don't think money is going anywhere. That is what we have decided is how we're going to exchange goods and services, and it helps to really get good with it and decide where it goes, because it has a way of running away if you don't tell it where to go. Okay, I think that was it now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you same time next week, as long as nothing comes up. Take care. Bye.